My impression as a pitcher is that he's unbelievable. You know, the game I saw him pitch the other day was like, the split finger from the top of the zone all the way to the bottom, like amazing.
He doesn't really fall into the trap that most pitchers do of repeating the same pitch over and over again. He can go.
I feel like it's not fair. I mean, I feel like he's just playing around out there most of the time, and when he wants to, then you see the 101 come out, nasty slider, nasty split. He's just special, man. I mean, it's just very fortunate, humbled, honored, whatever you want to say, to be able to share the field with this guy. I mean, it's a impressive feat what he's doing and what he's able to do the last couple of years, and I'm just happy to be able to watch him on a nightly basis. That's for sure.
大谷翔平、その名を聞いただけで野球ファンなら誰もが特別な感情を抱くでしょう。しかし今回、大谷選手を語るのはファンでも解説者でもありません。実際にグラウンドで対峙し、あるいは共に戦ってきた監督たちです。敵将として大谷選手に苦しめられた者、エンゼルスで二刀流の誕生を間近で支えた者、立場は違えど彼らの口から出てくる言葉は驚くほど一致しています。これまで見たことがない。総勢9名の監督たちが証言する大谷翔平という怪物の凄み、ぜひ最後までご覧ください。さて、最初に登場するのはダスティ・ベイカー氏です。レッズ、ジャイアンツ、ナショナルズ、アストロズと4球団を率い、通算2093勝を挙げた名将中の名将。2022年にはアストロズをワールドシリーズ優勝に導いた、まさに生きる伝説です。イチロー選手、松井秀喜選手、野茂英雄選手など日本が誇るレジェンドたちを間近で見てきたベイカー氏が大谷選手をどう評するのか。その言葉には長いキャリアに裏打ちされた重みがあります。なお、原本の映像が手ぶれで見づらいため、音声はそのままにベイカー氏の別映像を使用しております。皆さんに少しでも見やすい形でお届けします。それではご覧ください。
First, I'd like to say good evening, and I haven't been to this event in about 20 years, and I'm proud to say that I still see some of the same faces that I've seen that I saw 20 years ago, and I see a lot of new faces, a lot of young people, which I'm glad to see that the game of baseball is healthy by having so many young people and so many faces here that hopefully I'll see them in the future. I've seen two-way players before in my career. I've seen about everything, but I've never seen anybody that's as talented as Ohtani. And I saw it firsthand many, many times. I've seen the best in baseball, especially from Japan. I know Masanori Murakami, I think I'm pronouncing his name right. He was with the Giants. And I was like, okay, I was talking to him. I also had the pleasure of managing, I've seen Ichiro, who I thought was one of the best of all time. I mean, this guy was a magician with the bat. I've seen Lil Matsui, who I thought was a musician and shortstop. I've seen Big Matsui, a power hitter that was with the Yankees. And it's very hard for me to applaud the Yankees team. Because they used to beat on my teams all the time as a kid. The Dodgers, and they beat on me when I was on the Dodgers. But, you got to call a spade, and he was great. And Nomo was great. I mean, Nomo was outstanding when I was in San Francisco. He was tough on us. And last but not least, I had cool Senjo. I don't know if anybody here has seen Senjo. Senjo had the blonde thick hair and all this stuff. But this guy is one of the best I've ever seen. He's a combination of all of them. And he's humble. Sometimes he used to make me mad because he used to look at me right before he went to the home plate. And he'd always and I'm trying to act like I'm writing something down, and I peek up like this, and he's still looking at me. And so he'd go like this, he'd nod to me, I'd nod to him, and then he hit a home run. And I'll look up in the stands, my wife, who's Filipino, she's taking a picture of him after he hit a home run. Then he'd go out on the mound, he'd nod to me again, I'd nod back to him, then he'd strike out the first three guys that came to the plate. I mean, this guy is one, like I said, he's one of the most talented players I've ever seen. And I told him, I said, man, you are a bad man. And see, I don't think he really understood what I was talking about. I didn't mean bad. I mean, but you're one of the best cats that I've ever seen play this game, and I've seen a whole bunch of them.
いかがでしたか？歴代の日本人レジェンドたちの名前を挙げながら、大谷翔平選手のことを彼ら全ての組み合わせのような存在と言い切る。これほどの賛辞はなかなか聞けるものではありません。そしてホームランを打ってマウンドに戻り、また三者三振。見ているだけで怒りたくなるという気持ち、敵将だからこそにじみ出る本音でしょう。お前は悪いやつだなという言葉が最大級の褒め言葉として伝わってくるのが印象的でした。さて続いては、当時レッドソックスを率いてア・リーグで大谷選手と渡り合ったアレックス・コーラ氏です。コーラ氏はドジャースの選手としてワールドシリーズを制し、監督としても2018年にレッドソックスをシーズン108勝でワールドチャンピオンに導いた名将。今年4月に解任されるまで長年レッドソックスを率いてきました。大谷選手の獲得を目指したこともあるという知られざるエピソードも飛び出します。ぜひご覧ください。
Are you amazed what they're doing both ways?
Yeah, I think the most impressive thing, and like I mentioned the other day, talking to Rafi about it, is just it has to be very hard to prepare to do both at this level. The workouts, I don't know how that works, the bullpens, and you know, the days in between starts, and then you gotta prepare to hit. And this is the best level in baseball, and for him to be able to be successful doing both is amazing. I'm actually in awe with everything that he's doing. We knew throughout the process that he was good. The process was very interesting when we tried, to recruit him, but it just didn't work out. And I think he found a good place to play. He loves it here, and I think the people here in Southern California are having a blast watching.
Alex, should he automatically be, the MVP pretty much, considering what he's able to do on the pitching side and leading baseball in home runs? Like, is that just being a starting pitcher and hitting the way he does, does that pretty much qualify him to be the MVP?
Wow. I guess, he should be in the conversation. We should make a new award for him. Because the other guys, for the hitters, yeah, he's just a different breed. He's something different. This is something, MLB hasn't seen since Babe Ruth. So I don't know. He should be in the conversation. Just the things that he does, the way he's dominating the game. Right now, he's probably the best player in the game right now because he's able to do both at a high level. He's not the best hitter, he's not the best pitcher, but you combine everything and he becomes the best player. So I leave it at that. So I think he should be in the conversation.
We had some chances. We missed a few things offensively today. We were trying to put pressure on him, and we weren't able to execute. But he was good. He was good. I think it was great in Boston today. He was good. Obviously, to see him hit a home run while he's going out there for 7 innings, that's impressive. And that's why I keep saying he's the best athlete in the world, because to compete at this level on the mound and at the plate the way he does is eye-opening. It's unreal.
いかがでしたか？彼のために新しい賞を作るべきかもしれない。これは単なるリップサービスではなく、ベーブ・ルース以来という前例のなさへの本気の戸惑いがにじむ言葉だと感じます。そして実は獲得を目指して勧誘したにもかかわらず、うまくいかなかったと明かす場面もなんとも正直で面白いですよね。続いてはアンドリュー・J・ヒンチ氏です。ヒンチ氏は現デトロイト・タイガース監督。2023年7月27日、大谷選手が MLB 初の完封勝利を達成し、わずか40分後の第2戦では2打席連続本塁打。あの伝説のダブルヘッダーを敵将はどう見ていたのか。試合直後の率直な言葉をご覧ください。
Hey Jay, obviously Ohtani story of the game today. Just What was it like watching him do his thing on the other side, both pitching and hitting? Yeah,
He was the
both.
story of both games. Yeah, he's the best player on the field for both games. I mean, we saw what he does at his best on both sides. So he was completely dominant in game one. 9 innings, we really couldn't get anything started. Anytime we got a walk, he would, or the one base hit, it felt like a double play right behind it. Nearly faced the minimum, and then he comes out and hits 2 monster homers. So, yeah, it wasn't fun to watch in person. I have a lot of respect for him, and obviously know it's in there because I watch highlights like anybody else, but to see it in person against you is rough.
Is there a hitting approach to Ohtani that has a reasonable chance of working, do you think? Or
Well, we would have used it today if there was an easy one.
Is there anyone, I wonder?
Yeah, I mean, he's given up runs. I mean, when he makes mistakes, you can't miss them. And he made a couple mistakes today. He wasn't perfect, but he was dialed in pretty early and dominant from the get-go. I mean, he had all of his pitches. He started breaking out the slower curveball a little bit later. He didn't use that a ton against us. But, yeah, I mean, obviously there is an approach to get him. He's not perfect, but not today.
What in particular with Shohei you feel kept your guys off balance? The way that he
The pitching
did
side?
Yeah, the pitching side.
Every single pitch he throws. He doesn't really fall into the trap that most pitchers do of repeating the same pitch over and over again. He can go anywhere and get you out. And especially, you know, when he can change speeds, it's fastballs 94 to 100 in the 9th inning to the nasty split. You know, he'll spin his breaking ball. He's starting to sweep it a little bit. I think he's kind of making up pitches as he goes. I mean, he's so talented. So when you got to cover all of that and you try to cover all of that, you usually fail. I don't have to pick today. He kicked our ass on both sides.
いかがでしたか？もし簡単な攻略法があれば今日使っていたよという一言が全てを物語っていますね。スライダーが決まらなければカッターに切り替え、スプリットが走らなければ球種を組み替える。そのリアルタイムの想像に対応できないという告白は攻略法を熟知しているはずの敵将だからこそ重みがあります。さて次は2025年の NLCS でドジャースと真っ向勝負を繰り広げたパット・マーフィー氏です。マーフィー氏は現ミルウォーキー・ブルワーズ監督、2年連続でナショナルリーグ最優秀監督賞を受賞した今やナ・リーグを代表する知将です。 NLCS を前にした記者会見では大谷選手への警戒心を包み隠さず語り、シリーズ敗退後にはポストシーズン史上最高の個人パフォーマンスという言葉を残しました。勝負の前と後両方の肉声をぜひご覧ください。
How about any of the Japanese reporters? Ask me a question. It would be a thrill for me. No, we got a couple. Ladies first.
You may possibly face the Shohei as a pitcher. What's the impression, like what's the idea about him as a pitcher?
My impression as a pitcher is that he's unbelievable. You know, the game I saw him pitch the other day was like, the split finger from the top of the zone all the way to the bottom. Like, amazing. The guy's amazing. What can you say? The guy is amazing. I've never seen a baseball player with that much ability. So, yeah, we'll have our work cut out for us. That other kid's pretty good, the lefty. He's pretty good. What's his name? Snell? He's pretty good. I'm joking, of course. I've been very disappointed when he's pitched and I'm in the same stadium. Yeah, he's really good. And Glasnow is really good. And Yamamoto is really good. And the guy at the end, who's the guy at the end throwing 100 with a split? Yeah, that shouldn't be fair. We're gonna try to petition the league and see if we can get him suspended for something. Isn't there something we can get him on to get him out?
Murph, obviously not the ending you wanted. I mean, what'd you say to the guys in there just about the season as a whole here?
I mean, we've talked about being an inch from the top and an inch from the bottom, and you know, we faced a really, really talented team that played really, really good. We were part of tonight an iconic, you know, maybe the best individual performance ever in a postseason game. I don't think anybody can argue with that. Guy punches out 10 and hits 3 homers. I'm really proud of our team. I admire our team. Enough has been said. The narrative has been said many times, but it came to an end tonight to a team that was not only talented, played great.
いかがでしたか？一人で10個の三振を奪って3本のホームランを打つなんて、敗れた直後にこれだけ率直に相手を称えられる監督もなかなかいません。試合前にあれだけ警戒心をあらわにしていた男が、試合後には潔く大谷選手の凄さを認める。この対比がたまらなく面白く、そして清々しいですよね。続いては現パドレス監督のクレイグ・スタメン氏です。スタメン氏は昨年11月にパドレスの監督に就任したばかりの42歳の新鋭。パドレスといえばドジャースと同じナ・リーグ西地区。大谷選手とは今シーズンも直接対決を繰り広げるライバル関係です。現役時代はリリーフ投手でありながら、打率2割3分7厘、6打点、二塁打3本を記録した打てる投手でした。その目線から大谷選手をどう語るのか、ぜひご覧ください。
Ohtani has had an impact on this series offensively. Now he's on the mound. The numbers are obviously very good for him. What are some of the challenges that go along with facing Ohtani on the mound?
Yeah, he's definitely a big challenge on the mound, big challenge at the plate. The best, one of the best baseball players in our game, and being able to take on the best is probably the best part about playing in the big leagues. Is getting to test you against the best, and so we get to test that tonight.
He's had quality starts every single appearance. I mean, how do you guys make life difficult for him tonight?
Yeah, we just got to take good at bats, one pitch at a time. Win the pitch, and then hopefully adding up a bunch of wins. Gets him out of the game early, or at least hopefully scores a few runs against him. But definitely, a tough challenge.
As somebody who once hit 237 with 6 RBIs and 3 doubles as a relief pitcher, are you uniquely equipped to talk about the two-way nature of Shohei Ohtani and how impressive that is?
No, I'm not.
How impressive is it?
It is very impressive, very impressive. Like, even more impressive knowing what it was like as a starting pitcher and then being on base and how exhausted I was, the next inning, going out and trying to make pitches, and him doing that throughout the whole course of the season is pretty amazing. So I got, tons of respect for what he does on a daily basis.
いかがでしたか？先発として投げた経験があるからこそさらに驚かされる。リリーフ投手として長年マウンドに立ってきたスタメン氏だからこそ出てくる言葉でしょう。異次元、最大級の敬意という表現に、ライバルチームの監督としての本音がにじみます。さて、敵将ブロックの締めくくりは現エンゼルス監督のカート・スズキ氏です。鈴木氏は日系アメリカ人の元保守で、昨年末にエンゼルスの監督に就任。かつてエンゼルスで大谷選手とバッテリーを組んだ経験を持つ特別な関係の持ち主でもあります。捕手として最も近い距離で見てきた投手大谷翔平、そしてチームメイトとして共にプレーした打者大谷翔平、その両面からの証言をぜひご覧ください。
So you picked a nice destination weather-wise, and also, I mean, you happen to have a few friends on that squad that are a big deal, including one that can hit, he can pitch, he can do it all, the velocity we talk about all the time. So now that you're with him and you're catching him, what is it like to work with Shohei Ohtani?
It's special. He's obviously a freak athlete, maybe one of the best athletes I've ever seen on the baseball field. Pitch, hit, run. He can do it all, and being able to be behind the plate for him when he starts, there's always that special chance that he's out there to do something special, throw a no-hitter, perfect game, or whatever. So it's been really fun.
Personality-wise, what's he like? Does he sneak in, a joke or two when you're on the mound for a meeting? Anything like that? Give me something good that we wouldn't know about him.
Oh, he's quiet. He's a very diligent worker. He has a pretty strict routine, but every once in a while he throw out a couple jabs out there and catch you by surprise. Catch you by surprise, that's for sure.
Being a catcher, man, the fact that you catching for a guy like Shohei Ohtani, and in the video game we call that a cheat code. A guy that can hit 40 home runs and literally get 15 wins. When you're able to catch that type of player, what comes in your mind? Because I'm pretty sure you never thought in our lifetime we would have a Babe Ruth type guy.
I feel like it's not fair. I mean, I feel like he's just playing around out there most of the time. And when he wants to, then you see the 101 come out. Nasty slider, nasty split. He's just special, man. I mean, it's just very fortunate, humbled, honored, whatever you want to say, to be able to share the field with this guy. I mean, it's a impressive feat what he's doing and what he's able to do the last couple of years, and I'm just happy to be able to watch him on a nightly basis. That's for sure.
So in Japan, you have roots. Your former teammates, Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout, and now Trout-Tani.
Trout-Tani.
So how do you describe their relationship?
For me, when I played with both of them, I thought it was great. You know, at the time, two of the best players in the world playing on the same team, and I got a chance to play with them. It was a pretty unique experience and definitely special to be a part of and seeing it on a daily basis. Their relationship was fun. Shohei's funny. Trout has a good time. You know, they banter back and forth, and I feel like they push each other to get better. And I thought that was a real cool experience to witness firsthand.
In the last WBC, they faced each other.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you see it at the moment?
Well, I saw Ohtani strike Trout out. I think everybody saw that, right? But I don't think there's somebody that Ohtani wouldn't strike out. So it was a great at bat too. So I thought it was a cool thing, and I think there might have been some bragging rights there after that one. But it was great for baseball. You know, two of the best players in the world facing each other in the championship game of the WBC. It didn't get much better than that.
いかがでしたか？ベーブ・ルースのような男が現れるなんて想像もしていなかった。これはフェアじゃないという言葉に、かつてバッテリーを組んだものだからこそ分かる驚きが詰まっています。そして WBC での大谷選手対トラウト選手の対決を、これ以上の筋書きはないと語る場面には、野球を愛する一人の人間としての興奮が伝わってきますね。ここからは視点が大きく変わります。敵として外から見た大谷選手ではなく、同じチームの内側から見た大谷選手。エンゼルス時代を共に過ごした歴代監督たちの証言です。まず登場するのは、大谷選手を MLB に迎え入れた最初の監督、マイク・ソーシア氏です。ソーシア氏はエンゼルスを2000年から2018年まで率いた球団の顔。2002年にはワールドシリーズ優勝を果たした名将です。2018年、誰もが二刀流の成功を疑問視していた中で、大谷選手を受け入れ起用法を模索したのがこの人でした。前例がないという状況をどう乗り越えようとしていたのか、当時の生の言葉をご覧ください。
Thrilled to have you join me. I really appreciate it.
Okay, good.
Tell me about Shohei Ohtani. What is it like managing this two-way threat?
Well, right now we're obviously have a lot on our plate to pitch. So
Yes.
getting his swing where it needs and get him at bats to get him ready to swing during the season. So right now we're not sure how many at bats it's going to end up to over the course of the season, but we're definitely going to DH him when we have opportunities to, and we need him to go out there on the mound because he has an electric arm. So this guy's definitely a unique talent.
You're not used to having this much attention, I don't think, because I mean, I've been hearing that there's 20, 30 guys from the Japanese media following him around wherever he goes.
Yeah, there's at least that many guys, but it's no problem. They're really they don't interfere with our workout. Maybe on a personal level, it takes me an extra 5 or 6 minutes a day, which is no big deal. And Shohei is very accessible, but he's as you said, Tim Mead is coordinating this, and they made it very functional and seamless to where he can do his interviews and not miss a beat on the field.
What do you think will be the most difficult transition for him? I mean, I know the mound is somewhat different in the Japanese league.
Yes, not only the mound, baseball is a little bit different. The skin of the ball in Japanese baseball is a little bit different than our baseballs, and he's getting acclimated with that. He started throwing our baseballs a while ago when he was over in Japan. So he's getting acclimated, and there's just a little difference in the mounds. Outside of that, it's baseball. You know, you've got to square it up when it's in the zone and try to miss bats when you're pitching.
And how do you think you're going to use him? Because it is obviously it's very different to have a pitcher. I guess Madison Bumgarner is the only one that you can make any kind of reference to. But how will you use him so that you keep him fresh and keep his arm a little bit healthier?
Yeah, there's no doubt that there's going to be a schedule of when he's available. I think. If he's pitching and happens to be against a National League club, well, that's easy. He'll hit on those days. If he's if he just pitched a day and he needs a day to recover, he probably wouldn't be available to DH. And maybe the day he throws his bullpen, there'll be some days where he's restricted. But outside of that, he'll be available to DH and come off our bench if we need it and whatever we need.
I think the biggest challenge for him also, and this will be interesting to see how this happens, again, is to keep him healthy, just because you don't see that many players who are sharing this transition between the hitting and the pitching.
No doubt. Just for the pitching side, I think a lot of Japanese pitchers that have come over to the United States have had a little problem with stamina. They've been banged up, and they've missed some time. I think that our GM Billy Epler has done a tremendous job and has kind of worked out a 6-man rotation to get guys the rest and hopefully keep these guys not only fresh but effective. So I think that we'll talk all through the season, about it, but hopefully he'll overcome those hurdles and go out there and get his starts and contribute both on the mound and at the plate.
Is he on a pitch count?
Not so much a pitch count right now. He's stepped up until he gets stepped up. Yes, but he's thrown anywhere from 115 to 125 pitches in games over in Japan. So once we get him stepped up, there won't be a pitch count, but there's certainly, with a 6-man rotation, it'll be much closer to the rotation that he pitched in Japan than coming over here, your typical U.S. rotation of 5 guys.
And what's the plan when he's not pitching?
Well, when he's not pitching, if it's right after he pitched and needs a recovery day, then he probably won't be available to DH. We'll read him every day to see when he feels like he's recovered from pitching, to when he can go out there and swing the bat and see if he's going to be, an option on that given day. But more so, he's got time in between to throw his bullpen, 1 or 2 bullpens, whatever he's comfortable doing, lift his weights, recover, get strong for his next start. So there's a lot of work involved. Trying to do what Shohei is, both on the pitching and the offensive end.
¿Cómo se te ha complicado la situación viendo a ese gran Shohei Ohtani que sabe batear y además sabe lanzar? ¿Para ti es un poco dolor de cabeza?
No, porque él hace lo mismo en Japón y él tiene un programa bien. Y él sabe cuando necesito poner la concentración on pitching y después de eso on hitting.
¿Tú has visto eso anterior? Viendo un talento como lo tiene ese muchacho, bateando lo hace igual, lanzando también. ¿Lo has visto en el pasado? Before?
No, es muy difícil. Es muy difícil porque tú necesitas práctica y por mucho tiempo en toda parte de su juego, un pitcher. Él tiene muchas cosas pequeñas que él necesita command y en la parte bate tú necesitas mucha repetición. Es difícil.
Gracias, man.
De nada.
Fun because I think they're on each count you've got so many options to use depending on what the game dictates you might need, what the hitter dictates. But he's multi-dimensional, obviously, not just a guy that throws the ball hard or a guy that has a good splitter. He's got the whole package when he's on, so it'd be fun.
Yeah, it seems like that splitter's unhittable, throws it 23% of the time. The four-seamer is the majority of the pitches, but it seems like that splitter's just unhittable. What makes that one so effective?
Well, I think on some of the counts he'll throw it, or obviously counts where guys are respecting his fastballs and it makes him more effective, but all in all, he's got a way to get back into counts. He's got a way to put guys away. He pitches to the count very well, and he understands his stuff. So it's more than just a splitter, believe me.
Media, and you wouldn't be managing this long if you ever listened to those guys. Some seem to think, why risk pitching him the rest of this season? I'm excited to see him pitch. Where do you fall on that?
Well, I'm excited to see him pitch, but this is totally directed from our medical department of what's best for Shohei. He's got there's so much upside to him in his career that you don't want to risk it. So the fact of getting peace of mind where you pitch in September and you feel good gives you a lot of momentum going into the off season and the next spring. So I think that's an important box to be checked. not at the risk of obviously getting someone injured. So we'll monitor very closely, but we're excited to see Shohei back out there.
Mike, as a manager, I'll use the word, have you felt handcuffed because he can't play the day before he pitches? Obviously, he's not hitting when he pitches or the day after. Can you see a time in the future where that will change for him?
It remains to be seen. I think that this is something new, trying to do this in the major league level, and Billy Epler put down some very definite guidelines that make a lot of sense. What's going to happen in the future, you never know. But the way I look at it is I'd rather have Shohei only hitting 3 or 4 days a week, let alone be able to pitch at least once a week, than not having him be able to do either. So I don't think it's handcuffed. I think that he's a multi-dimensional player that's helped us on both ends and makes us a better team.
It sure seems like he loves baseball. He has no fear. He wants to get out there against this Astros lineup.
No, he wants to. He loves the game. He knows he's talented. He carries a lot of confidence, and he's having a terrific season for us.
いかがでしたか？彼のような存在は他にいないと断言しながらも、まだ未知数だった当時の慎重さが言葉の端々から伝わってきます。6人ローテーションの導入、球数制限の議論、いかに丁寧に大谷選手を育てようとしていたかが見えてきますね。そしてその判断が今の大谷選手につながっているとも言えるでしょう。続いてはジョー・マドン氏です。ちなみに2019年に指揮を執ったブラッド・オースマス監督の時代は、大谷選手がトミー・ジョン手術のリハビリ中で登板がなかったため、今回はマドン氏の証言にバトンを渡します。マドン氏はレイズ、カブス、そしてエンゼルスと渡り歩いた MLB を代表する名将の一人。2020年から2022年にかけて大谷選手と共に戦い、MVP 獲得を目の当たりにしました。詩人のような言葉で大谷選手を表現するマドン氏ならではの語り口をぜひご覧ください。
Shohei Ohtani, my favorite baseball player. I need to know what it is like for you managing this sensation.
Actually, it's easy. He takes care of everything. He knows what he wants. He knows how to work to get his work done to get what he wants. He is an incredible baseball athlete where he's able to do things on the fly. He'll create stuff on a nightly basis, whether it's on the mound. At the plate, you saw him last night. He wasn't surely going to try to bunt, but then he said no, and then he smokes a pitch. He's just a really good baseball player with a high baseball intellect.
Can he be the MVP even if you're not one of the top teams in baseball? Chris Brockman, of course, Red Sox apologist, has made some other comments about whether or not he thinks Shohei Ohtani could be the MVP, right, Chris?
Well, I just think there's a difference between valuable and outstanding, with all due respect to what he's doing. It's tremendous. We've obviously never seen it before in 100 years, but, 500 team against a team that's 25 games over 500, I'm just saying that, there's a difference, in my opinion.
Yeah, the other team probably has a more balanced team, possibly. They possibly have a lockdown bullpen. They possibly have kept all their players healthy all year, and he can't control any of that.
Of course.
That's all semantics to me. For me, if you're in the dugout or in the clubhouse with this fella on a daily basis, and you get to watch this, it's the most valuable player in baseball. I would argue that with anybody. Combination of hitting and pitching at the level that he does, and not just hitting. It was like his 37th last night with 81 RBIs already. And the game that he pitched the other day against Colorado, once again, nobody does that. Nobody's done that, ever. So at what point would you then consider him for the award if it's just contingent upon the rest of the group? I mean, I remember Alex Rodriguez winning an MVP with Texas when they were in last place, I believe. And I agreed with it 100%. I never, at that point, I said, my God. I mean, I saw him when he was a baby in instructional league with the Mariners in Peoria, Arizona. I think, my God. I mean, I've never seen anybody go to his left that well. And then he just kills it in Texas and then wins the MVP, and he deserved it. So I think it's all semantic. Let's say, what's your philosophy, what's your belief, what religion do you believe in? And then you can argue that point. But I think there's no question he is the MVP for me.
Are you surprised what he's been able to do on the mound? Just able to keep that focus, not while still playing every day in the outfield.
As a DH, but that's what I'm talking about. It's what he's doing is so unnatural. And not only that, just think about this too. He plays the day after he pitches. Now, you ask anybody that pitches, I think I'll go back to my high school days. My whole right side of my body was sore the next day. I mean, like sore.
Right.
And this is his last pitch the other day. I think was 99 or 100 miles an hour.
100 miles per hour in the 7th inning.
Yeah, right. And so that requires physically coordination and just pure strength is really unheard of. It is. And then play the next day and play well the next day and want to steal bases the next day and looking for the green light all the time. It's just, you watch a Little League game, you watch the best player on the field, you go, wow, that kid's really good. There's the best player on the field in a Major League game every night he plays. So that's what I'm saying. It's different. I don't know the next time you're going to see this. It's not lost on me at all. Obviously, you're hearing what I'm saying right now. But you got to be with it every day to really appreciate the full flavor.
Yeah, and the mental focus, too, because obviously he's studying his at-bats to get better in that aspect, and then he's also has to study himself on the mound to get better in that regard, too. It's just kind of remarkable.
He's an artist, Dante. He's always creating. He is. I've often thought that I had this line of artwork a couple years ago, putting the art back into the game. I had the Mona Lisa as the centerpiece. She has eye black on. She's got batting gloves on. And this guy is an artist. I'm telling you, because we can give him all the scouting reports that we have, but when he gets to the mound especially, he is going to create based on what he's seeing and what he's feeling. And hardly anybody can do that. Let me put it that way. Hardly anybody can do what he can do nightly by just all of a sudden throwing out his cutter because the slider's not working or vice versa. I can't find my split in the first 2 innings, but he'll drop it on you in the 6th, and it'll be outstanding. My fastball command's not working here in the 2nd inning. Let me just go to all breaking pitches. He's got great feel for what he does. And again, that's you got to watch it. You got to see it nightly. Matty Wise, our pitching coach, has been concerned on different occasions, and I said, listen, just leave him alone and just watch what he's doing because it's unexplainable. He has feel that nobody else has.
You have to wonder, how does he keep it up? How does he keep up the energy? It's incredible.
Yeah, you're right, and that's what I'm saying, because he plays when he's not pitching. And I know it's a DH, and I know he's not necessarily standing on his feet, but he exerts a lot of energy. And then it's the work that he does to stay sharp, whether it's in the cage. He doesn't hit on the field, which I love it. It's one of the most overrated things we do in our game. Everybody wants to see this extra work on the field all the time, especially this time of the year, and think that it contributes to us getting better. There's always a point of diminishing return setting in, and I don't like when guys get arm weary. He does that. He throws very lightly in between starts. It's not this elongated. It's like when you go to the practice team in golf. You hit a couple good shots, you just keep swinging until you swing poorly, and then you stay there another half hour to try to swing better again. He knows what he's feeling, and he knows when he needs extra this or that, and he does. But he handles it. He cannot handle it better. I'm telling you, he cannot handle this whole thing better. And I love working with him in regards to all this. And believe me, I'm following his lead.
I'm going to make you Shohei Ohtani's agent.
I'll take it.
How are you guiding him? Where do you want him to be after this next year?
Shohei is really his own man. I know Nez, the fellow that works with him, and his translator, Ipe. We're really good friends. I think what's happened, if you remember when Shohei first came over, I think he definitely wanted to stay on the West Coast. I think he was concerned, of course, and also about having an American League team where he could utilize both. Right now, the whole league is open to him. I don't think that location or travel are as important. I think culturally, having probably been closer to Japan at the point mattered, but now I don't think it matters as much. I think he's really gotten his feet on the ground in a sense when it comes to the American culture. So I think it's wide open, whereas in the past it was not. So it's going to come down to Shohei wants to win, man. Listen, one thing about Shohei, he's great and he's got all these things going on for him. But at the end of the day, this guy wants to win. So I think he's going to be motivated by that. I mean, his money's going to come regardless. It doesn't matter where Shohei goes. He's going to make his dough.
Would you pay him two salaries, Joe?
You have to. I mean, it's just two players. It really is. I mean, it's unique to negotiate or evaluate a Shohei Ohtani. He's not one dude. Look at his pitching record this year and look what he did at the plate offensively. Now, of course, everybody's going to say with good health, and that holds true for everybody. His pitching keeps getting better. I witnessed it personally. Offensively, it's been really good the last couple of years. You're paying one guy to do two different things, and he does it on a level that's a top 5, top 10 in all of baseball.
If you said, or you had to decide, he has to do one or the other. He can't do both.
That's Sophie's choice right there. That's a really difficult thought. I don't know the answer to that. It's again, I think he could probably be an offensive player longer. It's just a matter of the arm holding up, stuff holding up, things of that nature. But I'll tell you, this guy is kind of a physical freak. He's not sore before, after games. I don't understand how he's able to play to the level that he can after the day's pitched and thrown 100 pitches. Nobody can do that. Nobody does that. So I just wish the man continued wonderful health and just keep doing what he's doing for the next 5 to 10 years, because it's really special. And I don't even know the next guy that's going to come along to be able to even kind of approach what he's done.
And that's what I wonder. Sports is full of imitators. Everybody wants to be Steph Curry. Everybody wants to be Patrick Mahomes. You're going to have high school kids who might go into it, and it'll be the Shohei Ohtani effect on the game, where a lot of these players are really good. Your pitcher plays shortstop when he's not pitching when you're growing up. Right. And I wonder if there are going to be imitators who say, look, I'd like to be a two-way player like Ohtani.
It's possible more like you're insinuating there in high school or college where you don't play every day. That's a different animal. When you're playing every day at 162, to be able to pull off what he's done, I'm not saying it's not going to happen again, but I'm really curious as to when it might. There's going to be potential imitators. And like I said, when you play maybe 3 days a week, you could do, absolutely, we all did it in high school. But when you get to the level that he's performing at, I really don't think it's going to happen in the very near future. And if it were to, on some level, not with the kind of success he's experienced.
I want to get into Shohei Ohtani a little bit. You know him well. One of the most prolific hitters and, if not pitchers too, dare I say, in the league in baseball. He's struggling offensively a little bit, but lo and behold, the Dodgers are still finding ways to win. Freddie Freeman too as well. Talk a little bit about Shohei and maybe, what goes on in this guy's mind? How is he so good? But why do you think he's struggling right now a little bit?
He looks like he's pulling off the ball. I mean, when he starts, left center is his friend. When I had him there, he was struggling a bit. And the rocks in left center at Anaheim, I say, just the rocks are your buddy. Hit the rocks. Go for the rocks. Because when his swing lines up that way, everything takes off for him. In this moment, he might be trying a little bit too hard, which he normally doesn't do. The thing I love about him, I've often thought he's a lot like Ripken, Cal, because I used to observe Cal a lot, and I've become friends with him since. But for me, for Ripken, the game was a game, always, regardless of his stature, what he did, the records, Iron Man, all this stuff. He still played a game, meaning that during pregame, he'd get his ground balls and he'd try to hit the Fungos hitter circle, throw it in the circle. In between innings, he'd run out to his position. If Billy was playing also, Billy would guard him and Palmeiro would try to hit him with a pass. Always playing a game. Show does the same thing. Show doesn't let it get too big. Show is that talented. He loves what he does, and he's so in the moment, and he knows he's good, and he knows he's playing at a little bit higher level. So he's able to slow things down normally and do things that others cannot do because he is playing a game. He's not up there. He's not all uptight. It's not spinning too quickly. He's got a different heartbeat. And athletically speaking, beyond his hitting, when you watch him pitch and the feel that he has for that and how he's able to be creative on the fly as a pitcher, unbelievable. I watch it from the side. So you're watching a guy that really, he's in that league above the major leagues. There's been guys that have been in that league, and he's in that. You always talk about the 4A player, the guy that's in the big leagues, but it's pretty much 4A. Then you got the big leaguers and the really good big leaguers, and then you got the Shoheis of the world. So he is that good. I think it's his heartbeat, his ability to process, his self-confidence, and just his skill level is ridiculous. I mean, the guy could be a Gold Glove outfielder tomorrow, any spot if you put him out there. He could be a Gold Glove outfielder. I've watched him chase down fly balls, whatever. His base running, his speed, his intellect for the game is way above average.
いかがでしたか？投手コーチが心配そうにしていても放っておきなさいと言えるほどの信頼。毎日ダグアウトで見ているからこそ確信できる世界で最も価値のある選手という評価が静かに胸に刺さります。続いてはフィル・ネビン氏です。ネビン氏は2022年途中から2023年にかけてエンゼルスを指揮。現役時代はオールスターにも選ばれたスラッガーとして活躍した監督です。クラブハウスの扉の向こう、外からは見えない人間大谷翔平について最も詳しく語ってくれる一人です。ぜひご覧ください。
New manager of the Los Angeles Angels, Phil Nevin, is about to join me. I have so many awesome questions to ask him about his first managerial experience, managing Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, having to win over a locker room. And you know what? He was an all-star player in his own right. So talking to him a little bit about that as well. But I'm so pumped for you all to hear this. Let's welcome him in now, Phil Nevin. Phil, thank you so much for joining me.
I appreciate it, Ben. No problem.
What kind of leader is Shohei Ohtani in the locker room? We see what he does on the field. His play speaks for itself. But what kind of leader is he for this team?
Well, I can tell you, his personality is something that not a lot of people get to see. And I'm fortunate behind closed doors to get to know Shohei. He's just a wonderful human being. He loves this game. I would say as far as people with knowledge about this game throughout the inner workings and how what makes winning players, what are winning plays in a game, I'm not sure I've been around many better than Shohei, whether it's base running, fundamentals of the game, understanding preparation, understanding what has happened in the past. He can tell you, I'm sure, every player that he's ever faced and what he's done. He knows exactly who is swinging the bat well, who's not, and who sees his pitches better. He's so brilliant. It almost matches his talent on the field, and that's what makes him great.
Wow.
And Mike Trout, I can say the same thing about. I mean, I know we're talking about those two players, but and they're obviously always a topic of conversation. But Mike Trout is exactly the same way. So like I said, when you have those two guys together, it makes my job a lot easier.
I bet it does.
Phil, I have to ask you what everybody wants to know. What is it like managing Ohtani?
I never get that question. That's weird.
I like to be the only one to ask questions like that. I know you've never heard it before.
There's a lot to it. I mean, well, first off, it's certainly a pleasure to have him on your team. The talent, as you guys all see, the things that nobody else gets to see, though, are the personality, the type of person he is, the work ethic. And I've said this many times, he has an agenda from the time he wakes up till the time he goes to bed, and actually everything in between that, because with his sleep schedule is part of it too. But his agenda is being the best player in the world. Obviously, it's working, but he does not do anything or put anything in his body, and everything he does throughout the day is calculated for him to be the best. And it's not money-driven. It's driven because he wants to win, and that is the best quality I think you can be in a teammate. I happen to have two great players like that, and he and Mike Trout, and we'll get Mike back here pretty soon. But when your two best players are two of the best people in the room, they live and die just to win baseball games and want to be on that stage at the end of it. Makes my job a heck of a lot easier. Guys just kind of fall in line. They're leaders by example. If you notice, they always lead the league. They're both in the top five. This is nothing that anybody talks about, but in times to first base, which tells you they hit a comebacker to the mound or they hit a ground ball to second base, they're busting it down the line. Except when days when Shohei pitches, but just examples that set that they're leaders. They want to win. Guys follow them. It's pretty awesome to be around.
Buster Olney was on with Rich, and he told a story about you talking to Shohei at Yankee Stadium and referring back to your days as the third base coach, asking where Stanton and Judge put the ball. Can you tell us that story, please?
Yeah, he doesn't take batting practice on the field too often. And this particular day, he walks out, and I looked at him at the cage. I said, "What are you doing out here?" He goes, "I need to remember what it's like to hit a home run." And looking back, he had gone probably 4 or 5 days without a home run. He took his first round in the cage, and he walked out, and he said, he asked me where Stanton and Judge would hit home runs during batting practice. And I told him, right above that little restaurant was some of the farthest ones I've seen, where the cameras are. And this second round, he proceeded to hit them, well over where the cameras were, well over the restaurant. And this is to the opposite field a little bit. That's just him being him. He can put on a display during batting practice like nobody I've ever seen. I've obviously watched Judge and Stanton hit him for 4 years, and boy, they can hit him a long way for sure. This is just a different sound. It's a different look, which we've said about those other two guys for a long time. They still hit him. You're in awe when you watch him hit Judge and Stanton hit home runs in batting practice. But we used to go out and watch like McGuire take BP and Sammy Sosa. But this, what you're watching here, if you ever get a chance to do that, it's like nothing you've ever seen.
When you watch a guy like Ohtani, though, go out and you're concerned because he says his finger hurts and he's going to come out, he's not going to pitch, you're going to call a guy in a couple innings early, and he goes out and hits a home run. When does this doesn't happen. It's just magic down there with him.
Yeah, he's last week, he had the long day. He threw the complete game he threw a shutout against Detroit in game 1 of a doubleheader, and everybody's heard about this. Game 2, he hit the 2 home runs. He kind of cramped up the next day. This was more his lower legs and stuff in Toronto. We talked about getting a day off. He refused. He knew his body was fine and ready to go. And then last night, nothing in the arm, nothing in the elbow or shoulder. This was just his hand, and the middle finger just kept kind of curling down to his palm, and he couldn't get it to straighten out. It was a cramp situation, and he pitched with it the inning before. And I was looking up at the board. You saw a fastball at 90, and you see really slow breaking balls. I think it was a 5-pitch inning. He got through it and just came in and said, if this doesn't get better, I'm not going to be able to pitch anymore. And sure enough, it did not. He actually hit that inning, was able to wrap the finger around the bat, but just wasn't able to get a grip on the ball. So I had to take him out of the game, which threw 4 good innings, and our bullpen did a great job. It's just, missing Shohei out there and that the length that he can give you sometimes. Certainly, it wasn't the reason we lost the game by any means, but he certainly contributed his side on the offensive side to help us win it. We just didn't get it done at the end.
いかがでしたか？今回の動画では敵将恩師9名の証言を通じて大谷翔平という存在を多角的にご紹介してきました。二刀流の凄さ、類まれな身体能力、それはもちろんですが、今回の証言で印象的だったのはむしろ人間大谷翔平の部分ではないでしょうか。朝から寝るまで計算し尽くされたルーティン、野球を心から楽しむ姿、そしてチームメイトや敵将さえも引き込む人間的な魅力、そしてこれだけの証言者が口を揃えて言うのです。これまで見たことがないと、数字では測れない何かを持つ男、大谷翔平。2026年シーズン、投打二刀流で再びグラウンドに戻ってきた彼の活躍から今後も目が離せません。皆さんは今回の証言の中でどの言葉が一番心に刺さりましたか？ぜひコメント欄で教えてください。最後までご視聴いただきありがとうございました。それではまた次の動画でお会いしましょう。